Hi, welcome back to Math 263, and welcome to week 11 of the semester. This week, we're going to take a look at chapter 14. And this chapter is going to be very interesting because it's going to combine three things that we've looked at so far. So the first thing is it's going to feature vectors. What we're going to look at is we're going to look at vector-valued functions. So that's going to be a function of one variable. Traditionally, we think of it as being time, but it's not necessarily time. So think of it as time, though. So we have a function of time that gives us a vector that depends on time. Now, this is useful for a couple of reasons. One of them is it gives us a new interpretation of parametric curves, and it gives us a really good way of understanding motion in the plane and in space. Right? And if you think about it, Newton developed calculus in order to understand motion, right? So this is the heart and soul of the matter for calculus, is we'd like to understand movement of things in space. So that's a really important topic from the point of view of the history of calculus and also of many of the applications of calculus. Now, I said there were three ideas that were being combined, right? We have vectors, parametric curves, and motion. And then the last idea are the ideas that you saw in Cal 1 and Cal 2, where we were just looking at traditional functions, right, a scalar-valued function, except now we're going to have vector-valued functions. So we're going to talk about topics like limits, derivatives, integrals, things like that. Right? So that's bringing us back into solidly into the ideas of Cal 1 and Cal 2. Okay, so that's the content of chapter 14. This week we're going to look at sections 14.1, which is sort of an overview, and some definitions and a little bit about limits. We're going to look at section 14.2, which is just looking at how you do calculus. And there, for both 14.1 and 14.2, we're just going to look at things component by component. So it's going to be super straightforward once the idea clicks. And then finally, we're going to take a look in section 14.3. We're going to take a look at motion, velocity vectors, acceleration vectors, things like that. So that'll be one of the highlights of this chapter 14 is what we're going to see in section 14.3. Then next week, we're going to do 14.4, and then that will be the end of the content for this class. As a reminder, sort of like a peek ahead to the future, the end of next week, we're going to have our fourth test of the semester, and that'll be our final test that we have. And then on week 13, we're going to have only one class. We're only going to have our Tuesday meeting, and that'll be a review. And then finally, we're going to have the final exam. And that will be it for this fall 2020 Math 263. So we're almost there. We're almost at the finish line. Okay, so this week, let's go over the things that we have to do. The first thing is I have 3 MyMathLab homework assignments posted, one for each of sections 14.1, 14.2, and 14.3. Each of those assignments is relatively short, so this shouldn't be too overwhelming, but still get to work on that. There's going to be a short written homework assignment. This will be our last written assignment that's going to be required. I'll give you one last one that's optional to replace your lowest written homework. But this week's will be the last required one. And then you have your discussion forum participation that is also due. And then I would love to have you come to class on Tuesday. Please come to our Zoom class on Tuesday morning, and also to our Zoom problem session on Thursday morning, where we talk about problems together. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday and Thursday.